Vanakkam. So in this video, we are going to look at how to handle difficult employees. So there are 5 different types of difficult employee I'm going to categorize here. In that, how to handle them also we're going to discuss. Welcome to my channel. My name is Shakthi. I'm a psychologist and corporate trainer. Number one, difficult employees. Uh, they always want to give complaint. During your meetings, they will bring out with the complaints. Sir, we have this problem, we have that problem. Or they will always raise the complaint and they will not look at anything beyond that. So this is, I won't say this is bad, but definitely this will reduce the energy level of your team. So you need to take care of this. So how you have to handle this? Number one, try to handle them in a, try to find out why people are doing like this. Most probably the root cause could be they are overloaded, or they must feel that nobody is supporting them, or kind of frustration, or they don't know how to prioritize the work. So you talk to them and you help them to identify how they have to prioritize their work. Suppose if they have the procrastination, you try to address that. And number two approach is try to shift the perspective from the complaining to the solution. If you are able to shift their perspective, they'll be able to come out with a solution rather than complain. So next time, whenever you're hearing that employee is coming out with a problem or complaining nature, you talk to them and tell them that, hey, come on, okay, I understand that. I appreciate that. You're bringing this to the forefront. But can you just tell me what could be the better option? What could be the better way to handle this difficulties, or handle this compliance, or handling these issues? So if you start asking questions like them, if you put the ball in their court, they will start thinking from different perspective, and next time they will come out with a solution rather than the complaining nature. So this is how you can handle them. Number one, you should understand the procrastination if they have, and you should be able to understand whether they are overloaded with, whether their plates are full or not, that you should have the clarity on that. And next thing, you should be able to help them to prioritize their task. And number three, you should be able to shift the perspective from compliant to solution perspective. Yes, that's how you can handle compliant nature. Another biggest problem is know it all. I know everything. That kind of attitude people are there in the organization, right? How to handle them? Actually, why? Whether they know about some topic or they don't know about some topic, they will start talking about, right? So that kind of attitude, why they have, if you go deeper and try to understand the personality analysis, you'll come to know that the people have some insecurity, because they feel that they've been working hard, they've been putting all their effort, they are unable to get the recognition, whether it's a home or at office. So they are longing for that. So try to give that appreciation, recognition to them. Actually, they deserve it, right? So try to give that recognition and appreciation to them. At the same time, try to maintain the balance. You should be firm enough to handle, because they cannot take you for granted. They should not do it in that way. But you tell them that if they get the satisfaction that yes, I'm getting recognition here, they will not do that overdo. They will not talk too much on that any topic, whatever comes under the sky, under the earth, on the earth, I can handle it, I can do it. No, they will not talk in that way. So make sure that here you have to handle them only in a if you know the root cause, only you'll be able to handle. So this is another tip for the new managers. And most important, another tip for new managers. The next most important difficulty is gossip. How to handle gossip people? Gossip people, they are loved by everyone. They are lovely, they are friendly to everyone. They will not have enemies at all in the organization. So how are you going to handle the gossip people? But if you look at the gossip, it's definitely, it's a toxic, it's cancerous. It's going to definitely, it is going to create a disaster impact on productivity as well as people around. So you need to take care of this. So before you jumping into the conclusion, you should understand, you should ask yourself the question, whether am I participating in that gossip activity, or am I letting them to do this gossip activity? You ask yourself this question. If you are participating, if you are indulging yourself along with them, then you have to stop it immediately, and you have to address their behavior, and you should be able to correct it in that way. Number two, you try to maintain the transparency, because whenever they have a empty space, they will try to penetrate their stories into that. So don't give empty space among the people. You try to have a transparency around, so people will have clarity on what should be done and what should not be done, and how things has to move. So they will not have any empty space. So gossip people may not be able to enter into that, and they will not create any stories here. Next most important is people pleasers. People pleaser, they will say yes to everything. Whatever you say, they will say yes, 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 everything. And they will not be able to, they will give overcommitment and they will suffer. So you should make it very clear to them that, they should not suffer like this. If they are suffering, obviously the whole team, they will get a frustration. They will not be able to have a vibe in moving around. They'll not be able to have an achievement accomplished to feel at all. They'll be having always a frustrated and exhausted feel. That is not good for the team actually. So as a leader, as a manager, as the supervisor, you should be able to understand this. So make sure that they should not have any kind of insecurity for saying yes, yes, everything. They should not be over uh, committed. Tell them that, like what is their job, what is the roles and responsibility. Not only that, you have to make sure that they will understand what are the consequences will come if they are unable to complete the commitment. So let them have the clarity on that, so they'll be assertive and they'll be able to come out with what can be done from their perspective, from their level. So that is most important in your organization. Because if you have only people pleaser, they will say yes, yes, yes. At the end of the day, they will suffer and they will not be able to. Sometimes they will not be able to complete at all. So you will also suffer in that perspective. So make sure it is, as a manager, you have to make sure that they will have the clarity on what are the roles and responsibilities, and how, if suppose if they are unable to complete the commitment, what are the consequences will come. So if they have the clarity, definitely they can work much more better to you, and they will ask a solution from you. They wanted to solve the problem by the manager. They will not be able to use it on their own. So how to handle this kind of difficulty people? So you try to understand one thing, why these people are doing like this, because probably they are lack of critical thinking. Or sometimes some people, they may have a critical thinking but they may not have the confidence to do that. They that you should address that. If they have a critical thinking, if they don't have a confidence, you have to talk to them and they will have to, they should be able to do it, and by next time, that's your part. And number three, whenever the problem is they are bringing to you, you make sure that, and whether they had this kind of past experience. Probably the past, the previous boss might have trained them, whatever the problem, you bring it to me, let me do it. So that kind of training might have given by the previous boss. You should be aware about it. So if they have that kind of behavior pattern, it should be immediately addressed, and make sure that they will have to solve their problem. It's not your duty actually, it's solving the problem. That's why they are getting paid, right? So if you started doing all solving the problems on your own, then what is the point in their working? And that's not your part of job actually. You have to make sure that they'll have to solve the problem. So tell them that, make sure that after conversation they have to take the problem with them. They should not leave the deposit all the problems with you, and they should not go free hand. So make sure that the problem should be taken care by them. They have to sleep on it. They'll have to come out with a solution. You tell them that you bring three best possible solution for this problem. Let's work together, like that. You can give the instruction and they'll come out with a solution. So that's how you can handle these kind of people. Another most important is, if it is first day for your organization, if you're working as a manager into the organization, first you try to understand what kind of environment is going on, what are the hidden rules are there, what are the unwritten rules are there, what kind of hidden agenda is here, and who is actually the power play, who is taking the powerful decision here, and all those things you should be able to understand. So trying to figure out the picture of that organization, picture of that environment, then you get into that. Number one. Number two, you don't degrade or don't talk about the negatives, whatever had happened in their past, whether the poor performance or bad experience. Never ever talk about that. You try to focus on, be a neutral person. Try to give a positive kind of perspective from your point of view. Though you know that there are rooms for the improvement, but still in the beginning you try to have that kind of approach. I hope this video is useful for the new managers. All the best for your career. And with that note, this is Shakti signing off. Thank you so much for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. If you feel this video is useful to you, please put it in the comment section. And if you're finding any difficulties, if you face any other difficulties in the organization, please let me know. Shakthi psychologist@gmail.com. Definitely, I'll try to make a video on that perspective as well. Thank you so much.